Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of equations and inequalities, specifically how we can represent them, and we will do it in 5 minutes or less. So sometimes we will get our one variable two-step equations and inequalities represented like you see on the screen. A whole bunch of x's and ones, and it is our job to figure out first what equation does this represent, and then secondly, how do we solve for x? So it's a little bit strange, but this actually is a pretty clear equation. So let's take this in a few steps. So first we see that we've got x's in circles over here, and that is going to represent, so these are our variables, right? So we know we are going to need the variable right there, but the problem is, and so let's go ahead and put that x right down here. We know that we need a coefficient, right? How many times are we going to multiply by this x? Well, that's the strange thing about this representation, is well, all we need to do is we simply need to figure out how many x's we see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's our coefficient. Since we have 5 x's represented, that is going to represent our coefficient and our variable. So those 5 x's in a circle is simply 5x. Now we need to take care of all of these ones that are sitting on either side of this equal sign, and these are both a constant. So we're not using any type of variables, we're just going to figure out what these represent, and it's literally something that we learn in pre-K and kindergarten, a one-to-one correspondence. So this is 1, 2, 3. So we have a group of 3 right here. So literally this is going to be 3. Now, we don't have any indication as to what the operator is. Since there is no key that tells us that these are positive or negative, we need to assume that these are positive. I have seen problems before to where sometimes they will give you a key and they will say that if they're shaded in, they might be negative. So we are going to just assume that these are positive. So the left side of the equation is going to say 5x plus 3 because I've got 5 x's and then I've got 3 ones sitting there. So now we just need to figure out how many ones we have over here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there we go. 5x plus 3 equals 13. Now the cool thing is we still need to solve for x, but now we can visually see every step. So the first thing we want to do, right, is to subtract 3 from both sides, because we want to isolate the variable. We want to get that all by itself. So we know that this plus 3 minus 3 is going to cancel out. We know that the 13 minus 3 is going to make 10, so we've got 5x equals 10, but watch. We can actually do that here. I'm going to take away 3 from over here. Then I'm going to take away 3 from over here. Let's go ahead and take care of our last 3. 1, 2, 3. So you notice I've got just a 5x over on the left side of my equation. Then I've still got 10 over on the right side of my equation. So it's still a balanced equation because I did the same thing on both sides. Now what I need to do is I need to get rid of this coefficient, so it is 5 times x. So what we want to do is we want to divide both sides by 5. And so what does it look like on this visual? So x equals 10 over 5, which means x equals 2. Well, what that means is we need to assign numbers to each of these x's. So we're going to put them in 5 groups. So if I were to put these x's into 5 groups, that's going to be a group, 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 and that's going to be a group. So what I did is I assigned 5 groups over here, and here's a group, right? And so you see that these groups correlate. So I've got a group of 2, a group of 2, a group of 2, a group of 2, and then a group of 2. So x equals 2 because each of these x's over on the left correlate to a group of 2 ones over on the right. And so we can simply say x equals 2, and that is how we can solve equations and inequalities with visual representations.